I think I'm in the shot. It's very dark in here. The light is leaving. I'm using natural light, but it's about to go. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible for your sake in all sorts of ways. It's, you know, quarantine life up in here. Everybody's in my house. And so I'm filming in the basement in my dad's office. And the timing is horrible. But I think there's enough light that you can see me, and that's what I need. So today we're talking about the Oscars. And I know that that is not a current topic right now. Obviously, the Oscars was like a month ago or something, but I just didn't film it, and I still want to make this video, so I'm doing it anyway, even though it's way late, because at the end of the day, at least at the end of this video, you will have some movies that I'm going to recommend to you that you should watch. So regardless of the fact that it is a long time since the Oscars, I think this can be pretty interesting anyway. So the topic is basically why the Oscars kind of sucked, or how I think it should have gone, who should have been nominated, my thoughts, and also, you know, we'll talk about it. Okay. And yes, we're going to talk about A24 videos, so we'll get into that. Right here I have my Oscar ballot. Every year, my family and we all print ballots and decide who we think should win for each category. And we mostly guess because obviously not all of us have seen all the movies, but my brother and I are kind of the film people in the family, so we actually do try to get into it. And my brother does things based off of basically what the critics are saying and what people, like majority of people, are saying will probably win. I do it based off of what I want to win. And so both of us watched a lot of the movies. We both went to see 1917 in theaters, like literally the day before the Oscars or something. And I saw pretty much every single movie that was nominated, except I didn't see like any of the short films. I don't think I didn't see all the animated, and I didn't see all of like the international features. But I'll tell you what I watched, and I'm going to tell you what I thought, and I'm going to tell you my problems with a lot of these nominations. I'm not going to tell you about who I think should win. Some categories I might say something about it, but I'm too indecisive to basically think, oh, this person should have won. Only in the song category, I'll tell you, what's her name should have won that. What's her name? For the original song, I think it's Cynthia. This doesn't say it. Cynthia or Arrivo, whatever. She should have won for the original song for Stand Up or whatever for Harriet.
And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. And you hear freedom calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on.
I don't understand why she did not win that. Elton John won, and like I get it that he's Elton John, but the song for Harriet was amazing. I only watched part of Harriet. I didn't finish it. I'm not going to say the movie was that great, but the song is fantastic. Cynthia, her last name's too hard to say. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Cynthia is so talented. She should have, they were saying that if she won, she was going to be, I don't remember what the word is, but it's something where if you win like a BAFTA and win an Oscar and win an Emmy or something like that, she should have won. She is so incredibly talented. Her voice is incredible. I don't understand why she didn't win. That's the only category I'm going to say who should have won. Other than that, I don't really have any issues with who won certain awards. I just have issues with who is nominated for the awards. So let's get into that. The movies that I watched every single movie that was nominated for Best Picture. Is it Best Picture? Yeah, called Best Picture. So I watched Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Jesus, that's the one that won, and I just called it the wrong thing. Parasite. That's all the movies, right? Yeah, that's a lot of movies. There's always a lot of movies for Best Picture. So let's talk about the Best Picture category first, because that's really all that matters, is the Best Picture category. Other things, I guess before we get into it, I'm going to look over this really quick. Okay, we'll leave that till the end. If you want to know my thoughts on the Best Picture, you gotta wait a second. So let's get into then. I'm not going to talk about director. Tarantino won, and like, I probably would have been fine if anybody won that category, so I don't really care. Actor. Okay, actor in a leading role. I knew that Joaquin Phoenix would win for Joker. Now, should he have won? I don't know. I did watch Pain and Glory with Antonio Banderas.
¿Qué haces aquí? Tengo que hablar contigo.
32 años me ha costado reconciliarme con esta película.
Si no escribes ni ruedas, ¿qué vas a hacer?
Vivir, supongo. Ten cuidado conmigo, ¿eh?
Tú eres muy novelero.
Estoy con Salvador Mayo.
Si tú ves algo raro, me llamas.
Aquí todo es raro.
¿Nos conocemos?
Sí.
Me gustaría ser un hombre para bañarme en el río desnuda.
¿Y qué es? ¿Drama o comedia?
Pues no lo sé. Eso no se sabe.
A tu vera, siempre a la verita tuya, siempre a la verita tuya, hasta que de pena muera.
I did watch that movie. That was pretty good, and he was very good in it. I don't know if he should have won. Like I said, I'm too indecisive to say who deserves to win something, but he was good, I will say that. The Two Popes.
You're mistaken. You are...
Silence! I cannot play this role anymore. There's a saying, God always corrects one pope by presenting the world with another pope. I should quite like to see my correction.
Cuando tenga la tierra, la tendrán los
Reform needs a politician.
The most important qualification for any leader is not wanting to be leader.
It's not me who needs to be satisfied. It's 1.2 billion believers.
Cuando tenga la tierra de los...
You're the right person. Church needs to change, and you could be that change.
It could never be me.
The grand doors have slammed shut and will remain so till the next pope has been chosen.
From that balcony up there, nothing is static in nature, not even God.
Where should we find him if he's always moving?
On the journey?
Oh, perhaps we'll find God over there on the journey. I'll introduce you to him. Being Pope, you must remember that you are not God. You're only human.
Okay, Jonathan Pryce was nominated for The Two Popes in leading role, and I think it was Anthony Hopkins was nominated for The Two Popes in supporting role. So that's what I also want to say. The Two Popes, like, there's other movies that weren't nominated for Best Picture that are really great movies, and I'm going to talk about that also after I talk about the Best Picture. I'm going to talk about other movies that I think deserved more recognition at the Oscars, and movies that I think that you should watch if, you know, you're in quarantine right now and you don't have anything to do and you're like, I've already watched all the winning movies at the Oscars, I need something else. I'll tell you some that didn't win or weren't even nominated that you should watch. So yeah, The Two Popes was great, but we're gonna get into that in a minute. Okay, actress in a leading role. I know a lot of people, I guess, didn't like Renee Zellweger, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't see Judy, but I actually liked Judy.
You're going to be all right.
What if I can't do it again?
Mama? Mama, are you there?
Somewhere.
You need
to take better care of yourself. You understand?
Everybody has their troubles. And I've had mine. I just want what everybody wants. I just seem to have a harder time getting it.
Do you take anything for depression?
4 husbands. Didn't work. There's a man that
You won't forget me, will you?
promise you won't.
It's not like an amazing movie. It's pretty simple. But I thought that she was so good in it. I don't know if she deserved the win. I think she deserved it, but like, I don't really have any stakes in the game or whatever. But she was good, so if you don't judge her, basically, if you didn't see Judy, because if you watched Judy, she was pretty good. And other than that, I don't really have anything to say. No. Okay, I said everything wrong. Because I circled things and Tarantino didn't win for Best Director. I said that wrong. I'll have like a caption that'll correct me, and I'm correcting myself again. Bong Joon-ho won for Parasite for Director. Tarantino didn't win. I just messed myself up here. But Renee Zellweger did win for Judy, and Joaquin Phoenix won for Joker. Like, I got everything right except for I messed up the director. But you must know. Screenplay. Okay, see, here's the thing. I wanted Knives Out to win for Best Screenplay. Knives Out is a fantastic movie, so that's another one. If you have not seen Knives Out, I recommend watching Knives Out.
I'm gonna live till I die.
You think one of his family
Walls.
killed? Is that what you're suggesting?
Then a cry. I'm gonna take the
You all love twisting the knife into one another.
Up your ass.
Oh, very nice.
Matter of fact, eat shit. How's that? Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
gonna dance, gonna fly. I'll take a chance. Ride high. Before my numbers up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live.
You know something. Spill it.
I suspect foul play. I have eliminated no suspects.
I'm gonna live.
It's a twisted web. We are not finished untangling it, not yet.
What is this? CSI KFC?
It's just an enjoyable movie. It's not like anything genius, but it's kind of genius. It's like really clever. So I thought that would win for screenplay, but Parasite won, and I guess that's fine. I don't know much about screenplays, so like I said, I don't care who won, but Knives Out is a great movie. You should watch that. Great cast, great acting in it, and it's like just entertaining. It is so entertaining. I've now watched it twice. I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it like the other day on Amazon or something. So yeah, I think you have to rent it or pay for it, but it's so good it was worth it. I might buy it on DVD, I'm not sure. Okay, so other than that, I don't really care about going into any of this other stuff. The light is gone and we don't have time, and you want to hear the more interesting stuff. What's the drama? So, okay, now let's talk about the picture. What the frick am I saying? The movies or films, whatever you want to say, nominated for Best Picture. Okay, here's where I have a couple issues, and this is what I'm talking about here. Parasite won. I don't have a problem with that at all.
진짜 착하다니까. 진짜 니가 착한 거지. I'm deadly serious.
근데 지금 진짜로 이상한 게 뭔 것 같아.
I personally didn't love Parasite, but I don't really care. Like, I'm not about to have people be in the comments all upset that I have an issue with Parasite. I don't have a single issue with Parasite, okay? It kind of scared me, but not like a horror movie scare, but just like a unsettled, but not in the usual way that I like unsettling movies, because I do have some of my favorite movies are kind of like unsettling, but the Parasite one I wasn't super into, but I don't have an issue with it winning. I think it deserved the win. But I think there were not a lot of films. I think it was a good, I thought that 1917 might win, but I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because aren't we so used to war movies being an Oscar thing?
Why in God's name did you have to choose me?
Stay, please.
If you don't get there in time, we will lose 1,600 men. Your brother among them. Good luck.
It was really good, and the way that it was done was really good. I'll link some videos. I think there's only one video actually. I'll link it down below, where they talk about how they filmed 1917. It's incredible. It freaking, I don't know how they did it. It's so overwhelming. I used to want to be in film, and I think I've just like over time been like less interested, because that seems so daunting to me. That big of a project freaks me out. I would love to be in a film maybe, because you don't really have to worry too much about the technical things going into it, but like directing and the production of a film like that is freaking overwhelming. So anyway, I'll link that video down below. It's a really, really interesting. So that's about 1917. Anyway, I thought that might win. I don't care that it didn't really. It's totally fine. So let's just talk about the movies. Let's talk about the movies that were nominated for Best Picture. First of all, let's talk about Ford versus Ferrari, because that one I do not understand at all why that was nominated. I really just have to say that.
This isn't the first time Ford Motors has gone to war. We know how to do more than push paper. Go ahead, Carol. Go to war.
Thank you, sir.
Do you think you can beat Ferrari?
Not control.
We're lighter, we're faster. That don't work, we're nastier. We're gonna make history.
I don't understand. I watched it. It's fine. It was an interesting story. I like cars, so like it's not just like I was bored because it's cars. It's like fine, and the acting was fine, but it just doesn't. I just literally don't understand why it was nominated for an Oscar and why it was nominated for Best Picture. Can anyone really tell me why it was? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. And you might be like, well, what else would be nominated? Oh, there's a lot of movies that should have been nominated, and I will tell you about that. But Ford versus Ferrari, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I literally don't get it. And if you didn't see it, then you don't understand what I'm talking about. But it literally is just average. And I don't mean to say that in a mean way, but it was kind of average. It literally was just average. It's not worth an Oscar, so I don't understand why it was nominated. So that's number one of the movies that I don't think should have been nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, okay? Okay, next, The Irishman.
You didn't see what I see, what I've been through.
A friend of ours is having a little trouble. Friend at the top.
Hiya, Frank. This is Jimmy Hoffa.
Glad to meet you.
Big business and the government is on the attack.
You want to be a part of this fight? A part of this history?
Whatever you need me to do, I'm available.
Only 3 people in the world have one of these, and only one of them is Irish.
Okay, here's the thing with The Irishman. Everyone makes jokes about it being super long. I don't really care about the length of the movie. I didn't finish it because it was too long and also boring to me. Here's my issue with Martin Scorsese. I'm gonna be mean about this a little bit. Martin Scorsese, I think my issue with The Irishman is that it kind of just comes across as being like where he can't let go of the past in a way. He used all those same actors and they're great actors, but like, I don't know if what I'm saying is gonna come across, people might not, I mean, what am I saying? Basically, I don't understand why he didn't just use new actors. Maybe he thought there's no actors out there that can play these roles the way that I want them. But I think that's just because in his head he wants it to be how things used to be. Like, I think his movies before, like his huge successful movies of the past, worked for that time. But I think today, to make it, I don't know, stand during this time, he should have done something different. I don't know. It's hard for me to like criticize Martin Scorsese, but I don't know why he didn't use new actors. I guess he thought, oh, there's this technology now where I can just make old people look young, so let me just use my favorite actors and make them look young for my movie. But I'm like, dude, it just makes him look like he can't be modern. And I don't mean like modern in like a get with the times kind of way, like a young person criticizing, like he's like an old famous director. I just mean, if he wants to stay with it, you need to kind of get with it. And he could have just simply used new actors and it would have been fine, I think. So it's not even an issue with the story, although I do think that I don't know why he's still trying to do the same old mob stuff when I don't know who's really into that anymore. I know there are people out there that are into those stories, but to me it was just kind of like, don't you want to do something new? Don't you want to try something out of your comfort zone? But he didn't. So that's my issue with The Irishman. It just to me seemed like he hasn't been able to move on and, I don't know, try something new and be a little bit more creative. Because you can't just say like using that technology is creative, because he's not the one that did it anyway. He had other people do it, so he didn't come up with the technology. It's been around for a while now. He just was using it as a tool to basically stay in the past. And I'm sorry to be mean, and I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but that's just the vibe I got from it. I think he should have given some new actors a chance to act with Scorsese, but instead he used the same old people. That's my thoughts on that. I'm sorry to be a little bit mean, a little bit harsh. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Jojo Rabbit.
If I tell on you, you'll be in big trouble.
They'll never win.
Love is the strongest thing in the world.
Your mother took me in. She's kind. She treats me like a person.
You two seem to be getting on well.
She doesn't seem like a bad person. I'm the enemy. You're not a Nazi, Jojo. You're a 10-year-old kid who likes dressing up in a funny uniform and wants to be part of a club. Oh, God.
Jojo Rabbit was great and fine. I don't have a single issue with Jojo Rabbit. I don't even know what to say about it. It was good. It was funny. It was entertaining. Should it have been nominated for an Oscar? I don't know. I guess it's fine. I don't have an issue with it. The only issue I have so far is Ford versus Ferrari, and then we'll get to the other issue. Okay. Joker.
Gotham has lost its way. What kind of coward would do something that cold-blooded? Someone who hides behind a mask.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a comedy.
I have some issues with Joker. I'm not going to talk about it completely because, like, whatever. I think we've already all gotten our opinions on the Joker, so I don't need to talk about it really. I think that it's slightly harmful, but nothing bad has come of it, so it's fine. But, you know, sorry, I'm on a weird chair with noises. So I don't have anything to say about the Joker. I don't think it's fantastic, but, like, whatever. I don't have any issue with it. Little Women was good. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be.
Women, they have minds and they have souls, as well as just hearts.
I want to be great or nothing.
And they've got ambition and they've got talent, as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it.
But I don't have an issue with it being nominated. All right, now we're going to talk about Marriage Story.
I realized I didn't ever really come alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness.
I'll never get to really be his parent again. He needs to know that I fought for him.
It's not as simple as not being in love anymore.
Eventually, it'll be the two of you having to figure this out. Together.
Okay. I have issues with Marriage Story. I don't have issues with Marriage Story as it is. I have issues with that it was nominated for an Oscar. That's what I have an issue with. I don't get that one either. My two movies that I just don't understand why they were nominated for Best Picture, those two movies are Ford vs. Ferrari and Marriage Story. Marriage Story was overhyped. I don't think it was that good. And I'm sorry to get mean again, but this is what this video is about. I don't think it was that good. I don't get it. It was kind of boring and bland and just like, I don't get why it was so overhyped. And that's all I have to say. Marriage Story, like, do you really think? And the only really reason is because there are other movies that could have taken that place. And that's what I'm upset about. We're going to get into that. I keep pushing things. I know, I'm so sorry. Okay, I already talked about 1917. It's great. Parasite, I already talked about that. Lastly, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
In this town, that can all change like that.
Hey! You're Rick fucking Dalton. Don't you forget it.
I think that's my favorite movie of 2019. Now, I know some people don't like it, but I love it. And I know some people don't like Quentin Tarantino. I don't like him as a person, really, but I like his movies. I think he's a great director, and that's just a fact. He's a weirdo, though. We know he's a weirdo. I hate feet. I personally hate feet. They creep me out. So that's my biggest issue with his movies is the feet everywhere. I don't like seeing that. But he is a creep, so he does. But I do think that his movies are pretty great. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is literally one of my favorite movies now. I've seen it 4 times. I saw it in theaters. Then I bought the DVD and I watched it the minute I got home. Then I watched it again with my dad and my brother and sister, and then I watched it again with my whole family, so 4 times. So I love that movie. I just think it's entertaining. I think it's great. Leonardo DiCaprio is so good in it, and Brad Pitt is so good in it. They are fantastic, and they both look great. Brad Pitt, we know he looks freaking great in that movie. The fashion, amazing. The whole thing, just amazing. And so I will say, here's the difference between, if you want to draw from the past. So we're going to talk about Scorsese versus Tarantino. Scorsese, basically, like I said, seems like he can't get out of the past versus, whoa, sorry, I just hit my camera. Okay, Scorsese seems like he can't let go of the past versus Tarantino showed his inspiration from the past. It's more nostalgic versus stuck. Does that make sense? That's the vibe I get. That's how I feel about it. I know not everybody would feel that way. This is just my opinion. I should have said that at the beginning, but I think it's pretty clear that all of this is opinion. So why do I need to say it? It's just my opinions. There I go saying it. Anyway, Tarantino already, you can see from all of his films basically how he draws a lot of inspiration from old Hollywood and old films. So like even with Django, I think there's references. So this is already a thing for Tarantino. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is literally just oozing with nostalgia for anybody that grew up or really experienced the like 60s, 70s, all that. So anyway, I love it. That's probably my favorite movie that came out of 2019. So I'm biased. That's what I want to talk about, the Best Picture specifically for Marriage Story and Ford versus Ferrari, because I think other movies could have taken the place. And that's when I go into the second stage of this video. Who was basically totally ignored during 2019 and was not acknowledged during the Oscars. I have a list. Because people, when the nominations came out, what's snubbed? That's the word I was trying to think about. That's why the sentence I said a second ago was so weird, because I couldn't think of the word snubbed. Who was snubbed at the Oscars? That's a weird word, though. Basically, when all the nominations came out, right, everyone on Twitter was like, these people were snubbed or whatever. So, yeah, I was like, you're right. And so then I made a list of all sorts of movies that came out during 2019 that people were saying should have been nominated, and other movies that I know, or I knew, what am I saying? At the time that the nominations came out, I knew, hold on, there were a bunch of trailers that I saw for movies that looked fantastic. Why did they not do that well, and why are they not being acknowledged at the Oscars? And so it could have been they were bad, but I was like, I'm going to figure it out. So I went and watched a bunch of these movies. I almost watched every big movie that came out in 2019. And I'm going to tell you which ones should have been nominated. I saw Hustlers, I saw Ad Astra, I saw part of Rocketman, I saw part of Just Mercy, I saw Waves, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, I saw Lucy in the Sky, El Camino on Netflix. I don't even know if that was something that people were saying, but I just watched it anyway. Blinded by the Light, I watched part of that. I watched Honey Boy, and I watched Uncut Gems. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Uncut Gems, okay? And I watched Hotel Mumbai, and I watched The Souvenir. The movies I didn't get to were Booksmart, The Best of Enemies, Queen and Slim, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Those are all the movies that I put on a list that I wanted to watch so that I could make this video, and I missed some of them. Like Queen and Slim, I think is really expensive on Amazon to rent, and so I didn't feel like doing it, but I do want to watch it eventually if it gets cheaper or put somewhere else. And then I want to watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but I don't know if it's available to watch yet. I don't even know if it was released during the time that it could be nominated, but it was released during 2019, I think. So I don't know. Maybe I'm all talking about this for no reason. But my big point with this is some of these movies were pretty good. I'm not saying they should have been nominated. I really liked Hustlers. I'm not saying that Hustlers should have been nominated for anything. But some of these movies were very good, and I think they should have been nominated. And you know which ones those were? The A24 videos. Videos? What am I saying videos for? Movies. The A24 movies specifically, I think they should have been nominated for Oscars. They were just plain old great. And I know they're A24 movies. I understand that they basically seem like Oscar bait, but they're just good anyway. And I'm an A24 fan. I know that some people get annoyed by that, like you're being a hipster. I'm not just being a hipster. Maybe I just am a hipster. Right now I'm wearing the Lighthouse, like a Lighthouse shirt, whatever. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see this.
What? 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 Daddy! Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow!
All right, have it your way.
I didn't love The Lighthouse. I bought the shirt before I watched the show. The show? What am I saying? The movie. I bought the shirt before I watched the movie. I loved the shirt. Didn't love the movie, but it was pretty good. I have no issues with it. That was the only A24 movie, I believe, that was nominated for an Oscar. It was nominated in cinematography, I think. Yeah, The Irishman, not The Irishman. I can't talk. The Lighthouse was the only A24 movie nominated for an Oscar, and it was in the cinematography category. Now, I think my biggest complaint in terms of snubs is probably Uncut Gems.
What is that? I started it. Are you serious? You're taking my money all over town, placing bets.
I'm having very serious second thoughts.
Are you serious right now?
I know I fucked up.
Howard, where's the money right now?
Howard, got my money? Howard!
Is it too late? I'm done. It means nothing. It meant nothing. Please. Give me another shot. You like to win, right? This is no different than that.
Black June, power, nigga.
This is my fucking way.
You think I'm stupid, Howard? You and your whole fucking family. I told you about how things were gonna go. You like the way things are going now?
That's my family. Get the kids out of the house.
You having a good time?
Yes. This is me. This is how I win.
I don't know when it stopped recording, but I was talking about Adam Sandler, so I don't know when it cut off, but Adam Sandler should have been nominated at least for Best Actor, and he wasn't, okay? Uncut Gems should have been nominated, but also Adam Sandler above all. Even if you didn't want to nominate Uncut Gems, you should have nominated Adam Sandler. Okay, who was nominated for actor in a leading role? Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. I don't even know what to say. I guess we could all say they all deserved their nomination. But don't you think Adam Sandler could have taken one of their places? They were all great, but what happened to Adam Sandler? Come on. Maybe they thought it was too predictable. Well, guess what? It was deservedly predictable. We predicted it because it was right. Anyway, that's that. Uncut Gems. So that's the big A24 movie of the year, I think, was Uncut Gems. I did not see Midsommar. I've seen Hereditary. That was 2018 or 2017. So Midsommar I really wanted to see, but by the time that I was able to see it, it was not in theaters. So I could not see it, and I still have not seen it. But that wouldn't have been nominated anyway, because we know they don't nominate horror movies, which I don't understand that either. So who cares about the Oscars anymore? I guess I do. Here I am. Okay. So I didn't see Midsommar, but Uncut Gems was one of the biggest A24 movies of the year. Now, let me tell you what else was not... What else? I'm talking too fast is what's happening. That's why I'm running over my words. The other A24 movies of 2019 were Waves, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and The Souvenir, and obviously The Lighthouse, and I think there were some others, but those are the ones that I wrote down to talk about. When the trailer came out for Waves, months ago, obviously, long time ago, the trailer came out for Waves.
Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not rude. It doesn't boast. Love also forgets wrong.
I will always love you. How I do.
It's been hard, hasn't it?
Let go of a prayer for you.
How you doing with everything?
I'm good. Just a sweet word.
You know it's okay if you're not.
The table is prepared for you.
I'm trying to give you the tools to succeed in this world. It's not easy out there. Everything I do is for y'all. Everything.
I know you're under a lot of pressure right now, but I'm just getting really scared.
But you'll have this place to call home.
Everything's gonna be okay, all right?
Always.
We're in this together.
Look at you!
You mean look at me? I'm the one that's trying to hold this family together.
You pushed him!
Lord knows I've held on to way too much hate in my life. But all we have is now. All we have is now.
And I thought it looked incredible. It's just like, I knew when I saw that trailer I needed to see that movie. So I have like a playlist on YouTube, I think it's private, of movie trailers I put in the playlist that I'm like, see this movie. So Waves, right away when I saw that trailer, I knew it was going to be an amazing movie. So I was like, I need to see that movie, right? So I had been wanting to see Waves. I even put in my calendar when it came out in theaters, and I was like, go see Waves. So I had been keeping an eye on Waves. So then when I was thinking about the Oscars, I was like, hold on, what happened to Waves? I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't get to because it was only in a couple theaters, because you know the best movies always don't go to every theater because only the blockbusters go, whatever. So I watched Waves. I saw it through, I think, Amazon to prepare for this, and it was great. It was kind of unsettling, but in the kind of way that I like. Like I said before, I do like unsettling movies, but it's kind of scary because the whole time you think that something bad, like you're waiting for something bad to happen, because you know that something bad's going to happen because the trailer basically shows something bad happens, so this is how it affects the family. So the whole time I was like so scared, like something's going to happen. It's not a horror movie. It's like a drama or something, but it's kind of like got Euphoria vibes, you know, the show Euphoria, and it's got the girl from Euphoria. Oh, frick, what's her name? It's the girl that like everyone's obsessed with. It's not, and I can't remember her name either now. What's her name? Alexa Demi. She's in it. So what I was saying is it's not Zendaya. It's not Zendaya. Alexa Demi is in Waves. It's so good. And then the actor, here's another person that should have been nominated for Best Actor or Best Supporting Role, I guess it would have been. The guy who is in This Is Us, and he was in Black Panther. Hold on, let me look. He plays the dad in Waves. He was so good. And the guy who played the son is good too. Sterling K. Brown, okay? He was in Black Panther, and he's in This Is Us. I think that's where he basically started. He was so good in Waves, so I feel like he should have been nominated for like Best Supporting Actor or something. Basically, I think that Waves deserves some recognition, and it got 0. Nobody talked about Waves. Nobody saw it, I guess. And I didn't see it in theaters. I get it. I know. I'm one of those people. But I did watch it later, and I knew that it was going to be fantastic, and it was. And that's A24. So, we have a pattern. There's too many good A24 videos, I keep saying that, movies, that should have been nominated. But they weren't. Seems like the Oscars doesn't want to talk about A24, because they know that A24 would sweep at the Oscars if they really were nominating based on quality films. Okay? They know that A24 would kill it. Okay? Waves. Watch Waves and you tell me that shouldn't have been nominated. And that watch Waves and tell me that Marriage Story is better than Waves. Okay? Watch Waves and tell me that Ford versus Ferrari was more deserving of the Best Picture nomination than Waves. Tell me that. I think the Academy isn't watching all the movies out there, and that's not cool, because they missed on a good movie. Okay, next movie. Let's talk about The Souvenir.
We can all be sincere, but what's it all for?
So I'm trying to work out where you two tessellate here. How, what, why, when.
Can you lend me a couple of quid?
Yeah, sure. Robbie, can I borrow some money? Please.
More money?
Yes.
Oh. You're too nice. You need to properly get aggressive.
Don't lie, Anthony.
If you don't want to know,
I do
then
want to
don't
know.
ask. Stop torturing yourself.
I'm not.
Stop inviting me to torture you.
Terribly complicated.
But you're a thief, Anthony. You stole my stuff.
That's exactly how you make me feel. You're lost, and you'll always be lost.
You've changed quite a lot since you came. The most important thing about learning is that you grow.
The Souvenir, I don't think that's one of the best ones of the year. The Souvenir was kind of but it was pretty good. It was a good movie. And I think it's more on the level of Marriage Story in terms of like what kind of genre it kind of goes into, the kind of vibe it has. So I would say watch The Souvenir, don't watch Marriage Story. But Marriage Story is free on Netflix. The Souvenir you have to pay for on Amazon Prime. But The Souvenir is better than Marriage Story. And I didn't even love The Souvenir. But that's how much I didn't like Marriage Story. The Souvenir is more artistic. It's A24, I know. And it is better. I'm not saying I love it, but it was better. Like, if they want to nominate Marriage Story, they could have nominated The Souvenir if they wanted to nominate a movie like Marriage Story. But they only did Marriage Story because it was all talked about, because people got all obsessed, even though it was not worth the hype. Okay. Then the last movie I'll talk about, there's so many movies I could talk about. The last one I'm going to talk about is The Last Black Man in San Francisco. That one's also A24.
Hey, if you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear flowers in your hair.
Maybe he's right. What if we shouldn't be here? Well, we should be here more. Some millionaire.
To leave is not your loss. It's San Francisco.
longer we can keep doing this. But I'm not leaving. I'm the last one left. I'm with you, brother.
That movie was really good. That one's fantastic too. I think Waves is better than that. No, well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I can't even compare them. They're totally different movies. They're completely different. You can't even compare them. I don't know. It's hard to explain. That one is one that I think you should watch too. That one I think you have to pay for on Amazon Prime as well. Like, you can't find these movies for free anywhere. You could try, but anyway, that one also probably could have been nominated. All I have to say is there were a lot of snubs that it makes me side-eye the Oscars a little bit in the Academy. My problem is they can't make the argument that there's not great films out there with a diverse cast. You can't say that because there's other movies out there that are better than what was nominated, like so much better. Better than The Irishman, better than Marriage Story, better than Ford. Everything's better than Ford versus Ferrari. That movie's great, but it's not, I wouldn't say great, it's good, but it's not, like I said, it's average. You want to tell me that Ford versus Ferrari was nominated and Uncut Gems wasn't? And I know leading actor is Adam Sandler, so I'm not really talking about all race. But that's a good movie. Mostly my issue is, hello, A24 exists. And they're basically non-existent on the Oscars. It's because they know they'll sweep. And that's the moral of the story. That's the moral of this video. The A24 would sweep at the Oscars, and they didn't want that to happen. And I know Moonlight won. I think Moonlight won. Remember, there's that whole confusion. There was that whole confusion with the ballot. Or the card got switched. But I'm pretty sure it was Moonlight that actually won that year. Moonlight is A24. And that movie's fantastic. And that deserved that win. So I'm not saying that the Oscars doesn't want to give A24 an award. But I'm just saying that if the Oscars was really nominating movies based on what should be nominated, and how can we even say? But I just think if it was truly based off of the film, then A24 would be all over this ballot, but it's not. So that's what I'm saying. That's my conspiracy theory. They saw all these A24 movies were out there, and they said, we can't have all these. We can't have all the movies be A24. We have to put a Scorsese. We have to put Marriage Story, and we have to put Matt Damon again for Ford versus Ferrari. We can't have new people in the game. We can't have the film industry be modernized. We can't have movies that feel like Euphoria. It's too millennial. We can't have that. We have to have old school. That's my thoughts. I think the Oscars needs to get with it, and you think Scorsese needs to get with it, and that just basically together tells me that they just can't let, basically, like the Academy, I think is a bunch of old people probably. They know they're not. I know Whoopi is one of the people on the Academy, Whoopi Goldberg, so it's not all true, but I just think that some people were wronged, and that's all I'm gonna say. Now finally, I'll tell you, like I said, if you are bored during quarantine and you want some movies to watch, here's the movies, and I'll list them in the description. Here are all the movies that you should watch. Watch The Two Popes, that one's free on Netflix. Watch Knives Out. It's not free, but you should watch it. Watch Waves. Watch The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Watch Uncut Gems. Watch Uncut Gems, okay? It's just like the cultural impact of Uncut Gems. You have to watch it, okay? And finally, I would recommend Hotel Mumbai. It's actually really, really good. And you probably have never heard of it. But I think it's got Dev Patel, who is one of my favorite actors out there. Okay, hold on. I'm looking it up to double check, and then the video will be done. Sorry, it's long. It's almost done. I know that I look like a floating head in nothingness, but the video's almost done. Oh, it's also got the guy from Army Hammer from Call Me By Your Name. It's also got him, but Dev Patel. Okay, Hotel Mumbai. That's my final recommendation. So priority though is specifically the A24 ones. I think priority is Waves, Last Black Man in San Francisco, and Uncut Gems. I think are my priority of what I think you should watch. Oh, and Knives Out. Those are the ones, definitely watch those. But also I think you should watch Hotel Mumbai. It's actually enjoyable. My mom and my dad and I went to see it in theaters when it was out a long time ago now at this point. And we were all on the edge of our seat. It's suspenseful. It's actually great. And I know you probably have never heard of it, but it's actually great. And I think you should watch it. And that's my final recommendation. All of those will be listed in the description below. And that video on 1917, that one you should watch too. But this is just in case you haven't, in case you've seen all the main movies at the Oscars but didn't see the ones that I'm telling you should watch. You should watch them. Now, I think that's all I have to say. I don't know if all my opinions came across clearly, but I tried. And I may never make a video about this again. But I used to try to do film reviews on my old channel, and I stopped doing that. And I probably won't ever do that again. But I am into movies, and sometimes I have a lot to say about them. But so Oscar season is my time to like talk about it. And so I've been saying all this stuff to my whole family during all the Oscars. So I wanted to also say it to the video to anyone out there who might like this kind of stuff too. Anyway, so closing the ballot, that's all I have to say for the 2020 Oscars. I think it kind of flopped, but it's fine. I think the best thing that came out of it was Parasite winning. Other than that, it wasn't worth much. So watch the movies that I told you to watch, and we'll see if the Oscars can do any better with themselves next year. If there will be an Oscars at this point, who knows what's going to happen. We'll see. Oh, but I'll make another video maybe then. We'll see if they do any better. That's all I have to say. I hope I didn't just look like I was crazy and making no sense. And I hope that my whole neck wasn't cut off. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. If you are into movies, subscribe. Maybe I'll talk more about them. Other than that, let me know in the comments below if you furiously disagree with me or if you very much agree with me. And give me some film recommendations. What are your favorite films that you think nobody talks about? Let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. Sorry about the light. Have a good quarantine. Good luck. Stay healthy. And everybody stay calm. I think it's going to be fine. Everybody needs to chill out. That's my final words. All right. I will see you later. Have a good night. Bye.